just got a new case pocket knife. Let's see what the number is on that. The big Stockman style. It's the 6375 chrome vanadium, made in USA. Got jig bone handles. Pretty nice knife. Got it sharpened up easy. And then I made a little belt sheath for it. Kind of minimal type sheath, rather than folding a loop back or sewing a loop on the back. I just cut 2 slots here, and I like the way it turned out. Had a little problem with the stitching on this first one here. What I'd like to do today is kind of show you how I made my pattern. In fact, take you through the steps of making your own pocket knife sheath pattern. Just got some heavy paper, and what I'm going to do is make a square. What I want to do is pencil out a 4-inch wide piece by 4 1/8 tall. Four and 1/8 inch tall. Now I'll cut out my square. I'm going to fold the piece in half. And I know by the one I made right here that it needs to be moved in just a little bit at the bottom. So I'm going to come in here and knock off 3/16. One-eighth might do it, but I'm going 3/16 this time, from nothing at the top to 3/16 off the bottom like that. Now I'll take my template and put a radius on this bottom here. A 1/8 inch and 1/8 radius on the bottom, the top straight across. And I've got a little notch I want to put in the top. Okay, that's what I've got so far. Now, on this first one I made, I did a tracing. This is what I came up with, just to archive my idea and pattern. Okay, that's 1 1/8 also. So that's folded over. I like the way I left it flat on the back to give my slots a little extra strength at the top. But that kind of gives it a little place you can grab hold of your knife to pull it out. So I'll come up here with the 1 1/8 and let's see. Do a little notch there like that, and then just kind of do a little pencil drawing right there. So that's what I've got so far. Started off with the 4 inch wide, 4 1/8 inch tall grid kind of a system, and folded it in half. And then I tapered from nothing here to 3/16 off. And let's see, the next thing I want to show you is my slots on the back. I can clearly see by my prototype here, this was actually a kind of a flanky piece of leather on the back. The front is real nice, but I would like to move this slot over, well, both slots, move those over that way at 1/8 of an inch. So I'll make my first slot 5/8 in, and the second slot 1 1/4 in. And how long? Let's see, I made those 1 3/4 in length here. So depends on this. Okay, this is going to be right-handed, so I need to kind of erase my mark there. I'm coming in 5/8 and 5/8 there. I believe that's going to work right. And then from the top, 5/8 down. So 5/8. So my slot needs to run there. And what did I say? 1 3/4. Yeah, I think I'll go off the top one there and kind of straighten it up a little bit. This is about 5/8 wide. That's one way of doing that. Okay, there's my pattern. I'm pretty pleased with the way that it turned out. What I'm going to do now is take my Leathercraft knife and cut my slots. Now I'm ready to transfer this pattern to my leather. And I picked out a piece of leather here. I think will work just fine. It's about 10 to 11 ounce, somewhere in that nature. And I'll be able to fold that over rather easily. Feels good there, so I'll pencil my pattern over to the leather. Now I have my pattern marked onto the vegetable tan leather, and now I can cut out my sheath. It's a pretty tough little piece of leather right there. I can clearly see that I need to wet that and shape that up. I believe at this time I'll go ahead and cut my 2 slots here. I need to stop and sharpen my knife. First, I'm going to punch a number 4 hole at the top and the bottom of my slot there. That will do a couple things. That will relieve that slot so it will fit on your belt easier. Plus, it will in the future prevent that from tearing on up. That round hole does. Okay, now I'm going to wet this and shape it up, and then I'll cut a spacer for the center. I like the way that helps that to not be so tight. And while it's drying, I'll do some other things, but I'll wet that right now and shape it up a little bit. Okay, now the sheath is wet. It's a lot more workable right now. I'll fold that in half. Then I'll come back in here and cut me a spacer, and it needs to be 3/8. That shape right there, 3/8 wide. If you would like, you could also shape your loop up at the same time. I have a mock-up belt here that I use. Looks like it's going to work out just fine. Just takes a little patience, and see the little pattern right there. You can the paper pattern doesn't cost much of anything really. You can do some trial and error and come up with your own designs. That's my spacer pattern. I'll mark out a spacer and have it ready for after this dries. I can glue that in there and sew that. You can either hand sew your sheath. It'd be a little tricky to lace it, but sew it on a machine also. That's what I plan on doing. That's what I did here, and I like the way that looks.